Hello and welcome to Wisdom Without Borders. In this series, we will explain the whys, whens, and wherefores of classical quotations used by President Xi Jinping. In this episode, we will explain the line, "True friends always feel close to each other, no matter the distance between them." Xi first quoted this line during a joint interview with major media outlets from 4 Latin American and Caribbean countries on July 14, 2014. On November 21, 2016, he mentioned it again in a speech at the Peruvian Congress. The quote comes from a farewell poem by Tang Dynasty poet Zhang Jiuling. It teaches that mutual understanding can make people feel connected even if they are thousands of miles apart. The line perfectly encapsulates the relationship between China and LAC countries by pointing out it is built on mutual trust and support, mutual benefit, and mutual learning. It reflects the spirit of our time, aligns with the interests of people on both sides, and thereby serves as a model of South-South cooperation. During the China-LAC countries leaders meeting in Brazil on July 17, 2014, Xi proposed building a China-LAC community with a shared future for the first time. This proposal has set up a new framework for China-LAC cooperation. Over the past decade, thanks to their joint efforts, continuous progress has been made, ushering in a new era of China-LAC relations characterized by equality, mutual benefit, innovation, openness, and improved livelihoods. Osvaldo Mamani, a Peruvian craftsman, used to run a small shop selling handmade alpaca wool crafts. Back then, his sales were modest, with only some 100 sold annually. In 2016, an order for 1,000 alpaca wool crafts from a Chinese customer first exposed him to the vast potential of the Chinese market. In November 2018, Mamani's alpaca plush toys, branded as Warmpaca, made their debut at the first China International Import Expo in Shanghai. In November 2023, when Mamani stood at his booth at the 6th CIIE, he had reason to be proud. Warmpaca had grown from a tiny 9 square meter booth tucked away into a corner to a central spot spanning 36 square meters. Annual sales had increased 20 times compared to 2018. The business has benefited a wide community of Peruvian artisans. They include not only the Mamanis, but also the more than 300 people across some 100 families. This sense of pride is shared by Evandro Menezes de Carvalho, a professor of international law at FGV Law School in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. In February 2013, Carvalho came to China for the first time and has since fully devoted himself to Chinese studies with a special focus on China-Brazil cooperation. In 2015, he began collaborating with China International Communications Group by serving as the executive editor of China Hoje, or China Today, a Portuguese quarterly digital magazine, and helping launch it in Brazil. In 2017, Carvalho established the Center for Brazil-China Studies at the FGV Law School and set up Brazil's first China-focused law course, which is dedicated to academic research in the fields of international law, BRICS, and the Belt and Road Initiative. In January 2023, he was presented with the Brazil-China Fraternal Integration Cross of Merit by the Brazilian Congress. China Hoje was also awarded the China-Brazil News Award in recognition of its commitment to reporting on the real China and promoting social and cultural exchanges between the two countries. In early 2024, Carvalho received the Chinese Government Friendship Award, a prestigious award for international experts. He noted that the success of Chinese modernization has become a case study for an increasing number of countries and international organizations, and offered a new approach to addressing global changes and driving human progress. Over the past decade, cooperation between China and LAC countries has flourished across the board. To date, China has signed memorandums of understanding on Belt and Road cooperation with 22 LAC countries, as well as free trade agreements with Peru, Chile, Costa Rica, Ecuador, and Nicaragua. China has long been Latin America's second largest trading partner. Latin America, on the other hand, has become the second largest recipient of Chinese overseas investment. Cultural exchange events such as the China-LAC Cultural Exchange Year and the dialogue between the civilizations of China and the LAC have continued to deepen mutual understanding and foster connectivity on a human level. China proposed major initiatives, the Global Development Initiative, the Global Security Initiative, and the Global Civilizations Initiative, have been met with widespread support and participation from LAC countries. Though separated by thousands of miles, China and Latin America are close neighbors across the Pacific. While China is pursuing a Chinese path to modernization, Latin America is determined to work in concert. In 2023, the leaders from 10 LAC countries visited China in the hope of strengthening political ties, trade relations, and international cooperation. On the path to building a China-LAC community with a shared future, the two sides will become ever more closely connected. Over the next decade, China and LAC countries will continue to make great strides in bringing prosperity to their people and working toward a shared future for humanity.